Let's dive into the mistakes I made starting my first business. Mistake number 1, doing it all alone and not asking for help. I wanted to do everything myself. It would have been helpful if I reached out more. I think there is a balance though. You need to be proactive enough to get things done. You can't just hope someone is going to start this business for you. So you are the main character in your business, but you're allowed to have other people come in and chime in. So when you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out and talk to someone instead of trying to figure out everything on your own, which is what I did, which is probably why I started to get burnt out. Mistake number 2 is being inflexible. The mistake I made is not being afraid to make too many changes. I guess I was afraid of risk because when something was kind of already working, I wasn't sure if I wanted to change it. For example, my pricing. I didn't really change my pricing throughout my whole time starting my business. There was a fear in me of changing my pricing for whatever reason, but if I were to go back, and I would do more trial and error, because I see other businesses that do that in the same market. They are actually changing their prices just to see if it makes a difference. And pricing is difficult. You gotta figure out, what are the pricing for all the competitors? Are you the same pricing? If you're more, then what sets you apart? If you're lower, why are you lower? It's important for you to think about all these factors and not be afraid to change your price, especially when you're just starting. No one's really going to notice. It's just you in your head thinking people will notice, but most people will not notice. It's different if you've been a stable business for 20 or so years and people are expecting these prices. That's different. But when you're new, you're allowed to actually play around a lot with the cost. So I encourage you to play around with that and don't be afraid to change it up. So when I got into the groove of going to farmers markets every week, producing the product throughout the week, I started to become my own worker in my company. And that is a mistake because I didn't sit down enough throughout the 3 years to take a step back and really think, are we still in the direction that I want to be? Is this a vision I still want? I started to just become like it was another job. I was now working for my business and it was a routine, which was fine, but I wish if I were to go back to take more time to reflect every month or every 2 months on how are things actually going? Do I like where it's going? I didn't pause and reflect enough during my time. Mistake number 4, not being clear enough of who my customers are. I think because I wasn't clear on who exactly my customer is, it was much harder to focus on which markets to go to. I was going to every market and there were certain markets that did better and I didn't really reflect again on why, right? So if I had a better understanding of who are the people that buy my product, why do they buy it, and where do they live, it would be much easier for me to focus. And in this case, it's quality over quantity, right? You want to build that strong relationship with the people who love your product. For example, there are the bartenders, the drink makers, and then there's the people who are healthy and want lemon water. There's all these customers, and I think I should have wrote down specifically the qualities that attract them to my product and then finding where they are. That's a much better approach than trying to just go everywhere and hoping for the best, which is kind of what I did. I just tried out every single market, and some markets did well and some markets didn't, and I just didn't really have a strong understanding of who my customers were. The last mistake I had is not understanding my why. Why am I doing this? My why got very diluted because I was just excited to start a new business and it seemed aligned with my values. I like the product myself. It's a fruit, so it's like a healthy product. And I didn't really think about why I'm doing this. And over time, because I lost that why, it started to not be rewarding anymore. I felt like I wasn't really making an impact as much as I would like. And as a result, I started to lose my passion in it, and which is why I'm closing that chapter. If I were to go back in time, I would really reflect on, why am I starting this business? Am I starting this business to want to eventually sell it? Am I trying to grow the business so that I can have this financial win? Do I want to build this business so that I can just build skills? And this is not going to be the business I'm going to continue, but it's something that I just want to get started with. Do I want to start this business to have a good lifestyle? Because I realized that being in the food industry is very difficult, and it's a different kind of lifestyle. Starting a food kind of business. Yeah, I would just reflect on what do you actually want from this lifestyle, and why do you want to start this kind of business, and will this kind of business lead you to the lifestyle that you want, right? Are you planning to work in your business for the rest of your life because it's a lifestyle business, or do you want to grow it and sell it? Or is this just a stepping stone to get into a different field? Like, there's so many different ways to think about it. And if I were to go back, I don't regret obviously starting it, because it's one of the greatest things that I have done, and it has really built my confidence. So I encourage you, just go for it. These mistakes were only learned through trial and error. And maybe if I didn't go through this, then I wouldn't have these thoughts. But I would really reflect, even when it comes to your career, like, what is the actual lifestyle you want at the end? Because if you want to be able to, for example, work remotely, there are certain businesses and careers that's just not possible. That's not an option, right? Really reflect on what you want in the long run, and could this business or career fit that lifestyle that you want? Is it enjoyable? Does it tailor to your strengths? So those are some of the things that I wish I did differently. All right, that's it. The next video, to end the series, I'm going to dive deep into things that I wish I knew before my first farmers markets, and all the tips and advice that I have learned doing over 100 or so farmers markets. If you're interested, again, make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss that video. I will see you in the next video. Bye.